Heya Cryptozens, welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus and we do crypto news analysis nightly at 10 p.m. And keep in mind, none of this should be considered financial advice. And it's Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. Top of the month and halfway through the work week. Jack Dorsey, the co-founder of Twitter, is making progress with BlueSky. Now, BlueSky is a decentralized alternative to the microblogging platform. BlueSky's mobile app is currently in private beta testing, and it has been made available on the Apple App Store for selected individuals to try out creating an account using an invite code. TechCrunch has reported that BlueSky iOS app was launched on February 17th, and it has received approximately 2,000 installations as of February 28th. However, the app is not yet available for Android testers on Google Play, which, boo, I'm Team Android. Not that I'm likely to get an invite anyway, but. So apparently the interface of the BlueSky app is similar to that of Twitter, with many Twitter-like features such as how things like handles and followers and posts and replies are all displayed. The BlueSky's app feed also has likes, comments, and reposts, which are presented in a style similar to that of Twitter. TechCrunch has reported that the BlueSky app allows users to create a post of up to 265 characters, which is slightly fewer than Twitter's 280 character limit. Instead of Twitter's "What's happening?", BlueSky asks, "What's up?" Basic actions like sharing, muting, and blocking accounts are available to BlueSky users, but more advanced tools like adding accounts to lists are not yet available. Despite its similarity to Twitter, BlueSky will have some technical issues that do set it apart. The platform aims to become a decentralized network protocol that would prevent user data from being influenced by any government or corporation. BlueSky is based on the AT protocol. Now, that's a new federated social network that incorporates the latest decentralized technologies. Originally called the Authenticated Transfer Protocol, or ADX, the AT protocol is BlueSky's primary effort to enable servers to communicate with each other in a new way, allowing businesses and individuals to self-host and have multiple websites instead of just one. In early May 2022, BlueSky released its first batch of code, a few weeks before Jack Dorsey left Twitter's board of directors. Then, in October, BlueSky officially introduced its social app and the AT protocol. This came almost after 3 years of Dorsey launching the project with the support of Twitter in 2019. Now, while BlueSky has been progressing with beta testing, Twitter's been experiencing some problems lately. On March 1st, thousands of users reported issues with the social media platform, causing yet another notable outage for Twitter. It took about 5 hours to resolve the issue. During a hearing at the Senate Banking Committee, Dalip Singh, who is a key economic advisor for President Joe Biden, he spoke about the administration's interest in a digital dollar. Singh explained that the digital dollar would help eliminate private cryptocurrencies which have been used for ransomware and sanctions violations. He also mentioned that he was serving as Deputy Director of the National Economic Council and Deputy National Security Advisor at the National Security Council when the Biden administration issued an executive order to encourage U.S. regulations of digital assets. During a recent discussion, Singh explained that the administration wants to create a digital dollar. They believe that this move would help eliminate the use of private cryptocurrencies by the national security adversaries such as Russia. A central bank digital currency issued by the Federal Reserve would significantly impact the banking and crypto industries. Now, in some ways, I think it's going to be far more disruptive for the banking industry than the crypto industry. Surprisingly, some Wall Street lobbyists are against the creation of a digital dollar, citing concerns that it could destabilize the financial system. Now, it could also affect stablecoins, whose purpose is kind of like a virtual dollar backed by the government. I say could, but then again, I'm not going to sure that that's going to prove true. Now, in response to Biden's order, the U.S. Treasury Department issued a report last year that recommended that the federal government continue to work on a digital dollar while assessing its impact on national interest. Now, Singh, who previously held positions at the Treasury Department and the Federal Reserve, left the federal government to become PGIM Fixed Income's chief global economist. During a recent discussion, Singh suggested that cryptocurrencies enable U.S. adversaries to evade the impact of sanctions to some extent. While this type of evasion may not account for a significant portion of sanction violations, Singh believes that any amount of evasion is unacceptable. And yeah, I guess on a principle, you can take that stand. But as a practical matter, and as a question of what's the greatest harm, and as a humane matter, I would rather enhance our cryptocurrency landscape in the US. I don't want to see us sacrifice innovation just to make sure that we're capturing every tiny bit of capital that might be evading sanctions. However, a report from the Office of Financial Research in July suggested that a U.S. CBDC could help the government identify early signs of economic distress. If the digital dollar were to be created, the Federal Reserve would be responsible for issuing and managing it. Christopher Waller, one of the board members, has expressed his opposition to the idea of a digital dollar. During a Senate hearing, Singh responded to Senator Elizabeth Warren's questions about cryptocurrencies. Completely and utterly on brand, Warren claimed that cryptocurrencies are being used to hold U.S. businesses for ransom, evade American sanctions, and enrich America's adversaries. It's actually kind of shocking to me to hear anybody from the U.S. Senate concerned about these things. If they're really concerned about ransomware and sanctions and putting the screws to our enemies, you're not going to get there through banning crypto. I mean, when are they actually going to treat these issues as more than just talking points? In most cases, when a company gets in trouble, they hold on for as long as they can. Then they start selling off their assets in an attempt to make good on their debts. Eventually, they end up selling all of the assets off, and then the company dies or it gets absorbed. But not always. HODLNOT wants to go a different way, because for sure, HODLNOT is facing some financial difficulties, but its founders are working to rescue the business. However, creditors want to shut down the company. On February 28th, the managers overseeing HODLNOT's operations released an affidavit from co-founder Simon Lee. In it, Lee reportedly suggested that selling the business could be a preferable solution for creditors over liquidation. A report from Bloomberg states that Lee and his fellow co-founder Zhujun Tao have been in contact with various potential investors. Lee allegedly wrote that the co-founders believe that the company's user base could be moved to digital asset platforms owned or affiliated with these investors. Now, Lee argued that such a move could be the best way to maximize the value for the creditors in a business transaction, basically looking for somewhere else for their customers to go. This document confirms that HODLNOT is still interested in selling the company, and that it has been in talks with potential buyers. Now, some of these buyers, they showed interest in purchasing HODLNOT and its claims against FTX back in February. Earlier, in July, major creditors of HODLNOT, including the Algorand Foundation, rejected a restructuring proposal. This proposal would have allowed the current directors to oversee the company during the restructuring process. The creditors argued that the restructuring would not be helpful and that it would be better to liquidate the company's remaining assets, exactly the approach we were talking about at the beginning of this segment. By December of 2022, HODLNOT Group had a debt of $160.3 million. This accounted for 62% of their total outstanding debt. The company owed this amount to various entities like Algorand, Sam Trade Custodian, and Jean-Marc Trumeau. Once a prominent crypto lending platform, HODLNOT had to halt its services in August of 2022 due to a lack of liquidity. This was caused by the bear market in 2022. Moreover, the company's reliance on FTX had further impacted its operations. HODLNOT had over 500 Bitcoins stuck on FTX, and that had a significant impact on their bottom line. Sam claims another victim. Nigeria has a new president, Bola Tinubu. He won the presidential election, although there was some disagreement about the results. That seems to be going around a lot lately. Tinubu will take over from Muhammadu Buhari, who was the president for the last 2 terms. Now, Buhari had a difficult time in office, with lots of problems affecting the country. There were protests about police brutality, which happened all over Nigeria. Inflation was also rising, and in recent months, there were shortages of cash. These shortages happened because the government wanted to swap old banknotes for new ones. Now, Tinubu's victory in the presidential election has been questioned by some of the opposition party members. They're saying that there were problems with the vote on Saturday. Tinubu is from the same political party as Buhari, so I don't know. During Buhari's time in office, the Central Bank of Nigeria introduced a digital naira. This was meant to encourage electronic payments and to compete with private cryptocurrencies. However, despite the government's efforts to discourage their use, Nigeria's young and tech-savvy population has made the country one of the fastest adopters of cryptocurrencies in the world. The digital naira has not yet been widely adopted, even though there have been cash shortages in Nigeria. Now, one reason for this is not many merchants accept it as payment. As the value of the naira falls, more people might be turning to the US dollar instead. Buhari's government didn't like cryptocurrencies and stopped local banks from working with companies that use them. It's not yet clear what Tinubu thinks about crypto, but he wants to help the private sector in Nigeria. The economy is struggling with high inflation, fuel shortages, and a lack of cash. It will be interesting to see if Tinubu tries to revive their failed CDBC or if Nigeria goes out another way, either denominating in the US dollar or in some other crypto. I do wish them luck in getting out from under digital fiat either way. The Securities Exchange Commission claimed that the previous director of engineering at FTX was involved in deceiving investors. They also claimed that he took out millions of dollars from FTX for himself. Nishad Singh was charged for his involvement in the scheme to defraud investors on FTX. Now, Singh was a part of a plan to deceive FTX's investors, withdrawing about $6 million from FTX for himself. Now, he spent this money on a multi-million-dollar house and donations to charity. Singh agreed to a bifurcated settlement with the SEC's charges, which still needs court's approval. He also pleaded guilty to different criminal charges brought by the federal prosecutors on Tuesday. The Commodities Futures Trading Commission accused Singh of committing fraud by misappropriation and aiding and abetting fraud. Singh did not challenge the allegations and accepted a proposed consent order of judgment regarding his liability on the charges in the complaint. Singh was accused by the SEC of creating software code that enabled FTX customer funds to be transferred to Alameda Research. Now, Sam told investors that FTX was a secured platform, that they had advanced risk mitigation factors to protect customer assets. He told them that Alameda was just another customer with no special privileges. And no sooner had Sam gotten those words out of his mouth than Singh made the transfers. The agency also claims that Singh knew or should have known that these statements were false. Bankman-Fried directed Singh to transfer funds from another entity he controlled and then misrepresented as FTX revenue. Singh backdated fraudulent transfers and then lied to auditors about them, as well as created false documentation to support his lies. The SEC claims that Singh also worried about Alameda's liability to FTX, among other issues that could endanger both companies' financial stability. Now, keep in mind, he's no babe in the woods innocent here. Singh still supported Sam. He remained at FTX even despite his concerns. The CFTC alleges that Alameda and FTX shared office space, personnel, technology, intellectual property, and other resources. These resources included personnel and resources that Singh oversaw, despite many assurances that FTX and Alameda were distinct entities. When FTX was on the verge of collapse, Caroline Ellison held a meeting with Alameda employees. At that meeting, she revealed that she, Bankman-Fried, and others had decided to use FTX customer assets to pay off Alameda's debts. Singh and Wang were both aware of this, at least according to the CFTC's complaint. The majority of Alameda's workers resigned soon after that meeting. Good for them. Now, Singh's cooperation is a significant achievement for regulators and prosecutors in their ongoing cases against Bankman-Fried. Ellison and Wang have already pled guilty or reached settlements in their respective criminal and civil cases. The SEC's Director of Enforcement alleged that Singh and his co-defendants committed fraud by stealing customer funds using software code he helped create. All the while, FTX was talking up its risk mitigation measures to investors. This was a pure and simple fraud, according to the director. Singh faced charges from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York in parallel actions. According to Reuters, Singh pled guilty to 6 criminal charges brought by SDNY prosecutors during a court hearing on Tuesday. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, subscribe. Leave a rating or review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.